Harry Maguire keeps Manchester United in the FA Cup with a last-minute header. My emotions are so skewed after a game like that. You try and think about what part do I focus on? The fact that in that second half, Garnacho comes onto the pitch and was really positive. You guys would have seen all over my social media where I posted my clips where I spoke about how Garnacho, as he currently is constructed as a footballer, shouldn't be starting for Manchester United right now. He should be coming off the bench, similar to how he was when he had 49 on his back. Did very, very well coming onto the pitch, impacted the game well, created separation for his assist to Xerxes' goal. Or do I focus on the fact that from a majority part of that game, Leicester were the better team and United didn't have a shot on target? I guess the answer to that question is we focus on both. Obviously, it's a cup competition, and it seems as though now under Amorim, we will have to be a cup team, which isn't a problem. We've seen Man United win trophies in the last two previous seasons. But the idea was for this manager to come in and improve things. I understand the context, and do not think for a second me, of all people, is going to be coming here and saying get rid of the manager. That is most certainly not what is being said. But questions must be asked. And those questions are, what is the thought process behind a couple of decisions in the past, and especially in this game? You bring in your new signing, Patrick Dorgu, straight into the lineup, but you play him on the right-hand side, when we know that he is someone who's most dominantly played on the left-hand side. Obviously, he can play out there. It's not that he can't. He was one of our better players in that first half, providing the width. But there are clear issues that I see so far in this system. We all agree, and for those of you who follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and make sure you guys do to keep up with my thoughts on Man United. But you would have seen where I categorised the squad into those who I believe are good enough to start in a title competing team, those who are good enough to just be on the bench or part of the squad, or those that should be sold. There's only 4 players I think I put in the starting portion of that. So I am completely aware of how bad this squad is. Another thing I'm aware of is that this situation isn't ideal for Ruben Amorim. He didn't necessarily want to come into Manchester United in this current context like this. He asked for it to be delayed and for him to come into the summer so he has a pre-season. Fair. Very, very fair of him to ask for that. But this is the situation you found yourself in, and you've accepted the terms as they are. You have sanctioned for these players to go out on loan without replacement. He has to take responsibility for those decisions. He also has to take responsibility for the way that we are playing. It's ridiculous. For a big portion of that game, what we saw was a pass from Yoro to Dorgu, back to Yoro, to Maguire, to Mazraoui, to Dalot, back again. Same thing straight away. Go through the back 5 without any penetration. And this comes to another one of my issues. The signing of Manuel Ugarte, one that I have been open and honest about with you guys, either on SDS or on my socials, that he is not a player who is going to be progressing the ball through the midfield. He had one good moment where he played Garnacho in, and Garnacho took too many touches and should have scored a goal. But why does it take, for a whole 90 minutes, for a midfielder who is signed for 50 million euros, for him to be passing the ball forward once? It is not good enough. It is completely not good enough. I look again when I go back to Amorim, and that's his guy, by the way. Obviously, Ugarte is his guy that was with him at Sporting, and he's also going to continue with him at Manchester United, I assume. We also look at the fact that there was no central progression. That is a big issue, especially in a system like this. If you play 2 combative midfielders in those pivot positions, you will be limited in terms of ball progression. You cannot keep trying to pass the ball out wide amongst your back 5. It has to be passes between the 3 centre-halves and the 2 pivot players. The wing-backs should be so much higher up the pitch. They should be on the last line. They should be on the shoulders of the fullbacks, is where they should be. And that has not been clear enough so far. From now until the rest of the season, Ahmad should be the right wing-back and Dorgu should be the left wing-back. Dalot shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be. He should not be starting the way that he's performing right now. Rasmus Højlund, and this comes back to another question I have of the manager. Remove Ahmad. Are there players that have been improved and profiled correctly in this system? You could argue Kobe in their 10. You could argue maybe Mazraoui at right centre-back has been profiled correctly. Maguire being brought back in. Other than that, I look at players and they are just... We shouldn't be getting dominated by Leicester at Old Trafford. The results are not good enough. The performances are not good enough right now. And that's just the reality of the situation. We have to be open and honest about that. Having said that, fantastic from Harry Maguire and the boys to still get a result. And we have to be a cup team. This is just the reality of the situation. We have to be a cup team. But if we continually perform like this, we're going to be losing so many more games in the future. That's just the reality of the situation. We will be losing games, and we have to be ready for it. It's just the reality. There's not much we can do about it. We play like this, we will lose games. We advance now, beat Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester team, who I have to give credit to. Bilal Khanous, fantastic, him especially. Brilliant performance from him. I'm just looking back at the highlights of Maguire's goal right now, and he was offside. Quite comfortably offside. But obviously there's no VAR in the FA Cup, so we have to be thankful for that in this game. A goal in Fergie time, Ruud van Nistelrooy will be all too familiar with for him, unfortunately. Joshua Zirkzee, another one who had some really lovely touches and link-up play. I tweeted out when he came onto the pitch, I really don't want to see him in one of those 2-10 positions, because whenever we see him there, he doesn't really impact the game and it doesn't profile him well. He was fantastic. And Amad Diallo does make everyone else look better. The reality of the situation is Manchester United are through to the next round of the Cup. And in Cup competitions, the results matter. That's what matters in the FA Cup. And obviously we are the holders of the FA Cup, so we do advance to the next stage. From now until the end of the season, we will be losing games in the Premier League, but I think Amorim is able to coach teams in Cup competitions just to get these one-off results, playing away from home, and we do play better away from home than at home. So I see it as a positive in that sense. We can take some positivity from the fact that we are a cup team and we can play well in the Europa League, especially. Like, for example, in the Europa League, I don't know if we're playing against lesser teams, but that is the kind of time when you're going to see him really go gung-ho and play wingers, and proper wingers at wing back, even if it's Garnacho out there, if it's Odogu on the left-hand side, or an Ahmad on the right-hand side. That's when you're going to really see the system look as it should be looking, almost all the time, being in the opposition half. If you're the wing backs, you have to be in the opposition half. Vacate the build-up space area. We don't need you in there. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, at the brilliant assist for the winning goal. But the profiling of him in that double pivot, I understand why, in terms of his range of passing. Amorim wants someone who'd be able to pick up the ball. But there isn't enough central progression happening even with him there. We know that he is one of our best attackers, and that is the role that we would most need him in there. But let's just have it right. That double pivot needs to be addressed. It's not good enough. The double pivot must be addressed in the coming windows. Obviously, I know that a striker is obviously something that needs to be addressed as well, because Højlund is it's like, okay, his limitations were clear under Ten Hag. But I didn't think to myself, oh my God, how did this guy even make it a pro? That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking, what's happened to this guy's ability at all? Like, he can't control the ball. There was a time in the game where he just lost the ball twice. Like, he was breaking down Man United's attacks as if he was playing for Leicester. And that's unacceptable. Shout out Josh Zirkzee again. He's come up clutch again in the FA Cup. Maybe this is the competition for him, and let's see if Man United can try and retain their trophy. Other than that, these performances can't last, and the manager has to improve. He has to do better. There's a lot more that we need from him from now until the end of the summer. Because for me, the idea of, especially when a manager is so strong on their principles, as he should be, you either sack him or you back him. And for me, as what I'm saying right now, I need to see more from now until the summer to really constitute backing him fully in the market. Let us see how that works out. Let me know what you guys thought down below. I know some United fans, I'm trying to be as balanced as possible, obviously straight after a game, but these performances and these decisions can't go unanalyzed. They have to be spoken about, and that's what I always will be doing on this channel. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Make sure to show all the love, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys next time.